Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. See, we have some individuals joining the room now, so that is fantastic. A few ground rules that we want to go ahead and lay here before we start the session. If you can please make sure that you mute yourself and you keep your camera off for the presentation portion of the event, that would be fantastic. It's just going to ensure that, of course, we minimize any sort of disruptions that might take place. A few other things that we want to go ahead and note here today. We are recording the session here, so if you do need to review any of the information that is covered in this presentation today, you will have the ability to do so. The session recording will be uploaded to the Illinois WorkNet YouTube channel within 48 hours of the conclusion of this event. Additionally, when you registered for today's event, we did capture that information on the back end of our registration platform. So we will be uploading this information to our employer partners, excuse me. We'll be providing that to all the agency partners that we do have on the line to review and follow up accordingly. As a last note that we want to go ahead and make here, if you do have any questions for us today, feel free to throw them into the Q&A at any time. Once we reach the Q&A designated portion of the event, we will be sure to answer any questions that do arise. If you have any technical problems that come up regarding the Zoom platform itself, also feel free to throw any of those questions that you do have into the chat, and I will do my best to assist as well. With that said, I would like to introduce our first presenter today, and that is Dr. Nancy Foster. Feel free to take it away.
Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. I'm Dr. Nancy Foster. I work as a regional supervisor for the Division of Rehabilitation Services, Bureau of Customer and Community Blind Services in Illinois. I want to take this opportunity to welcome you all to this open house. Our goal today is to provide a brief review of federal legislation and program insights that will lead to a better understanding of our role in partnership with customers and other stakeholders, including employers. Next slide, please. The Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act was signed into effect July of 2014. This act strengthens the previous WIOA legislation by highlighting transition, technology, and other fiscal support services. The core WIOA partners include those stakeholders outlined in each of the noted titles, namely Title I, Workforce, Title II, Adult Education, Title III, the Illinois Department of Employment Security, Wagner-Peiser Act, and Title IV, the Rehabilitation Services Division of. Next slide, please. WIOA mandates that federal partners like the U.S. Department of Labor, the U.S. Department of Education, and the Health and Human Services Department work in tandem to provide technical support, information, and resources to states, local not-for-profits, and other stakeholders. Next slide, please. The Illinois Department of Human Services, being the lead department providing direct services to people, houses several divisions that cohesively make this a reality. Each of these divisions, with their own specialties, afford state government the ability to respond to the needs and concerns of various communities effectively and efficiently. Next slide, please. I would like to focus on the Division of Rehabilitation Services at this time, which provides vocational services to people with disabilities. The mission of the division is to help people with disabilities achieve their goals through employment, education, and independent living. Next slide, please. The Bureaus of Field Services and Blind Services provide vocational services. Some specifics regarding blind services lie with additional staff like the rehabilitation instructors and the orientation and mobility instructors. Field Services, on the other hand, houses the RCD, or the Rehabilitation Counselor for the Deaf. Next, we'll have Jenny Reed present on DRS as a WIOA community partner.
Thank you so much, Dr. Foster. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jenny Reed, and I am a business employment consultant for the Illinois Division of Rehabilitation Services. I cover 25 counties in West Central Illinois, including the Metro East. Next slide, please. The Illinois Department of Human Services subdivision of Rehabilitation Services is the state's lead agency for serving individuals that have disabilities. Division of Rehabilitation Services works in partnership with people with disabilities and their families to assist them in making informed choices to achieve full community participation through employment, education, and independent living opportunities. Next slide, please. If you would like additional information about the Division of Rehabilitation Services, here's a link and QR code with some additional information that will be posted later when the PowerPoint presentation in the chat is sent. Next slide, please. Okay, what is a disability? The Americans with Disabilities Act defines a disability as a physical or mental impairment that would substantially limit one or more major life activity. Next slide, please. You probably see a few familiar faces here. Can you take a quick guess and go ahead and pop that in the chat? Who you would suspect probably has a disability in accordance with the Americans with Disabilities Act? I'll give you just a second to do that. Okay, next slide, please. If you guessed everybody, that was correct. Every single one of them would meet the Americans with Disabilities Act definition of having a disability. Some of them were visible disabilities. So Franklin Delano Roosevelt was in a wheelchair. That was a visible disability. Robin Williams had severe depression. You wouldn't have known that if you didn't know him personally. He was able to cope with that disability very, very well. 1 in 4 Americans would meet the Americans with Disabilities Act criteria for having a disability. And as you can see, I mean, we had some presidents on that list. We had an Olympic gold medalist on that list. Very famous actors and actresses, the wealthiest man in the entire world. So people with disabilities are a valuable asset and can really bring a lot to the workforce and to their communities. Like we covered, disabilities can be both visible or hidden. And people that have disabilities have had to problem solve and think creatively to overcome barriers and to get tasks done their entire lives. And people with disabilities do tend to have more longevity with a company than people without disabilities do. Next slide, please. Okay, as we touched on a little bit, a disability can be either visible or hidden. So somebody in a wheelchair, that's a visible disability. You can notice that pretty easily. A hidden disability would be like Robin Williams with his severe depression. You wouldn't know that if he didn't tell you about that. So just to be aware of some of the different things that would qualify as a disability. Next slide, please. Okay, so employers have told us that they are looking for somebody who is reliable, somebody who's dependable, somebody who's good with teamwork and collaboration, who's dedicated to company culture, etc. And what we want to do is we want to connect you with quality individuals that are those things. We really want to make good connections for everybody. And I'd love to tell you a little bit about some of the government funded tools that we have at our disposal to help facilitate that. Next slide, please. So some of the tools that we do have at our disposal are tax credits, which we'll talk about further in the next slide. Assistive technology, for example, one of my coworkers is low vision. She has something on her computer so that she can, that it does high contrast, that she's able to see that a little bit more. Assistance with accommodations, and more than half of all requested accommodations are completely free of charge. I was working with a hospital that had somebody who was deaf and people kept asking them questions. So they had an I'm deaf plaque with them. Interpreter services like Zane, thank you. On-the-job evaluations and job coach services to help get people on board. On-the-job training, which is wage reimbursement for people with a more pronounced disability that were maybe not able to work, and then training up to being competitive integrated employment. Disability awareness training, and an entire team of people that are working with this individual to brainstorm how to overcome hurdles, including but not limited to transportation, childcare, and accomplishing the task at hand. Next slide, please. Some of those tax credits that we talked about were the Work Opportunity Tax Credit, which you're probably a little bit more familiar with, WOTC, and the Disabled Access Tax Credit. That helps get older buildings up to ADA code. For more information on tax credits, you can go to the U.S. Department of Labor. Next slide, please. So in addition to our services to the employers, we're also able to offer services to our job seekers, such as funding for education and training, assistive technology. We work in the high schools with the STEP program, and then individualize and customize programming as well to help connect and ensure that employment will be successful for both job seeker and employer. That's my division. And then home services as well, which helps an individual with a disability live successfully in their own home with services such as personal assistance, meal services, adult daycare, etc. Next slide, please. If you or somebody that you know is interested and could benefit from our services, please do fill out one of these self-referrals online. That's the best way to get connected with us. Next slide. Okay, anywhere. So we do have locations across the entirety of the state of Illinois. Plus in all states, we'll connect you with Missouri Division of Rehabilitation Services in a minute, but here's an office locator if you or somebody you know would like to get connected. And here's my contact information, which I will pop in the chat after I'm done presenting. Next slide, please. So the three offices that I represent in the Metro East are Belleville, East St. Louis, and East Alton. And here are the counties that they do serve within that. Next slide, please. Okay, with that, I will go ahead and turn you over to Lisa with the Missouri Division of Rehabilitation Services. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Jenny. Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa Alsop, and I work in Missouri for vocational rehabilitation. And Jenny did a great job describing vocational rehabilitation services in Illinois. And for the most part, you can expect those same services on the Missouri side. In Missouri, we do have 24 district offices, and we have 7 business service representatives. So on this slide, you'll find some of those services that Missouri VR can provide to both individuals with disabilities on the left-hand side, and then the employer services that we provide are on the right-hand side of the slide. Those QR codes on the slide will direct you to connecting with our services in each of those categories. And then you can see kind of the services that we do offer. Jenny talked about a lot of those. So job search assistance, career and technical education, assistive technology, college training, on-the-job training. But then when we're working with our employers, we can provide qualified candidates. We do our best to vet skilled candidates for those jobs that you're posting for. On-the-job training opportunities, we can help fund workplace accommodation support, potential tax incentives, and things like that. So next slide, please. Your main point of contact for Missouri VR is going to be Scott Lures, and he is my teammate here in Missouri Voc Rehab. Here is his direct contact information, and I just wanted to go into a little bit more detail. Jenny touched on it very briefly, but we're a part of a team called National Employment Team, the NET, and that is through CSAVR. Through that team, we can connect employers who might have a footprint in other states. So there are people like Jenny and I in every state across the nation working with employers, and we can connect you with those folks. And that's all I have. I think I'm supposed to open it up to Patrick Jeans. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jenny.
Yeah, Patrick, Biz, and Mandy, if you guys could just introduce yourselves really quickly. Thank you.
This is Mandy Smith, and I currently work with Jenny Reed for the Division of Rehabilitation Services, and I help cover Washington County.
And I am Patrick Jeans. I'm a job development specialist in St. Louis. I work with people with visual impairments for rehabilitation services for the blind. We go out, meet employers, and try to work with them to provide job opportunities for our clients. And we work, of course, with Lisa and the larger Missouri Vocational Rehabilitation Group in providing services for people with disabilities.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bishwa Fuyal, but I go by Biz. I'm the Business and Workforce Development Manager for the Illinois Division of Rehab Services and work with Mandy and Jenny and Dr. Foster. We want to thank all of you guys, including our partners in Missouri VR and all of our WIOA partners in Illinois, as well as employers and any entity that came to this webinar to learn more about our integrated services and how to access not just talent, but also employment services and support for your organization in the area, for coming out today. And I'll also leave my information in the chat. And if you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. And we'll go ahead and turn that over to our Title I partners now.
All right. Hello, everybody. I believe I'm speaking first. This is Kayla Bosing. And you guys can go ahead and go to the next slide. As you can see from this first screen here, we go by many names. As Jenny said, under WIOA, we are part of that American Job Center. We are part of Title I. Most commonly, you will know us as Madison County Employment and Training. Myself and Brooke Andrews, we cover the business services for our department. Next slide. This is just a quick funding overview, just showing that this is federal funding that comes down to the state and then is divvied out between 22 local workforce areas. Next slide. So what we can really do here is we are assisting businesses through recruitment assistance. So we are helping with job postings, career fairs, hiring events. We can do what's known as on-the-job training. So for us, that looks like a reimbursement of 50% for eligible customers. This is for 6 months or 1,040 hours, depending on, how that contract is set up. We also do incumbent worker training, which is to upgrade the skills of your current employees. We serve Madison, Bond, Jersey, and Calhoun. And I do want to back up and talk a little bit more under that recruitment assistance. We kind of, all of us partners here work together for those job postings. So anything that we get in our office, we're putting out through Facebook, through LinkedIn, through an email chain that gets through all the chambers, all the community colleges, all of our general job seekers. So it's going pretty far, stretching throughout the region. So anytime we get those business postings, those job openings, we post those out so that way it reaches the whole region and just helps all of our general job seekers. We also do work with apprenticeships, and then we can assist with any type of layoffs that a company is facing, whether that be big or small, and we can provide rapid response. Next slide. In our Wood River office, which is where we're located, we have a resource room and we provide some of those universal services here, covering resume assistance, computers for job search assistance, job board, which covers all those listings that you're going to see out there with job openings. We've got, fax, telephone, copier. Again, we can host those on-site employer hiring events, so people coming in for those can also visit our resource room. We do lots of referrals to anything and everything within the counties that we serve. We can help handle UI claims. So we are not the unemployment office, but we do get a lot of people that come in to use our computers to file for UI. And we do have a phone that rings directly to the UI office. All right, next slide. And then this page is just a quick overview, kind of looking at the funding that we use. This applies to our OJT funding, and it also applies to our occupational skills training. So alongside of helping businesses in providing funding for OJT and IWT, we can also do occupational skills training. And that is where individuals come in, and if they are eligible, we could potentially pay for certification programs, college courses, certain associate degree level programs, and things of that nature. All right, and I think that's it for us, and we're going to turn over to Bonnie.
Hello. My video is not coming up.
We can see you, Bonnie.
Oh, you can? Okay,
Yep.
Next slide, please. Okay, Hello, I'm Bonnie Forker. I'm the apprenticeship navigator for the regional apprenticeship navigator for St. Clair County. Next slide, please. I cover 9 Illinois counties. They're pictured right there. I don't want to waste time and go through them. But those are the 9 counties that I cover as part of our business services for St. Clair County. Next, please. So like Madison County, we offer the same services for the job seekers, people looking for employment, and we offer the same services for businesses. Madison County and St. Clair County work very closely together to assist our local businesses. We post and circulate job postings, like Kayla said, via LinkedIn and Facebook. We can pre-screen and refer applicants. If you're looking for a specific type of skill set, we can help you do that. We can staff and facilitate recruiting and hiring events, including arranging a free venue if needed, if you'd like to have a good sized hiring event. We provide information about HR and employer trainings and seminars that businesses may find helpful. We offer job description and salary information assistance if you're posting a position and you're not quite sure how to word that position for the public. We connect employers to partner job candidates. We help you create a talent pipeline looking to fill your needs. We also assist, again, with mass layoffs, rapid response. Next slide, please. Okay, we also offer the reimbursement opportunities to help with your ROI on new hires. That's our on-the-job training, same as Madison County. Reimbursements for training current staff, that's our incumbent worker training. Assistance with registering and starting an apprenticeship. Assistance with recruiting and registering apprentices. Connections to economic development and local chamber activities, and any service that assists employers with their talent pipeline, skilling their workforce, and increasing retention. Next slide. We also offer our Nexus employer group that meets every other month virtually via Zoom. That is where we invite employers to share with us their pain points and their recruiting needs with a group of partners that have job seekers, qualified job seekers to fill those positions. If you want information about that, please email me. I will put that in the chat. Next, please. And this is my contact information. I'll add that into the chat. I'm gonna pass this over to, this looks like Jill from Lewis and Clark.
Good afternoon, employers. We represent Title II Adult Education. Next slide, please. So we represent Adult Basic Education, also known as ABE. In this area, we have Kaskaskia College and my colleague Joy Fitz, who is the Dean of Workforce Education, myself, Jill Dupie from Lewis and Clark Community College. My title is Outreach Specialist, and Lisa Schermeyer, Adult Education Transition Coordinator from Southwestern Illinois College. Next slide, please. We were thinking we would like to start today by explaining the benefits of adult basic education for employees and employers. First, employees gain confidence and essential skills through ABE programs, while employers benefit from a more skilled workforce, improved productivity, and increased employee retention. Next slide, please. We also thought that you might be wondering how we define adult education, and we define it by saying adult education serves adults 16 and over who are basic skills deficient, have not completed their high school experience, and or are English language learners. Next slide. The core components of our programs include literacy education, reading and writing, basic numeracy, life skills training, career readiness, and preparation to help our students earn their high school diplomas. And for those of you who don't know, in 2022, the term high school equivalency, or GED, became the state of Illinois high school diploma. This was passed through bipartisan legislation, where we now recognize this non-traditional path that makes it clear to both employers and colleges that regardless of the path, our students have demonstrated they meet the standards to move on to work or college. We also offer English as a second language courses that help our students who are non-native to improve their English with a focus on speaking, listening, reading, and writing. And we offer bridge courses and integrated career and academic preparedness system, or also known as ICAPS training, and such as Lewis and Clark's ICAPS construction, where students are taught specific skills along with literacy and language support. These components are essential for equipping adults with the skills they need to navigate workplace and everyday challenges. Next slide, please. I'm now going to pass this off to my colleague Joy from Kaskaskia College to talk more about her program specifically.
Thank you, Jill. So my name is Joy Fitz. I'm the Dean of Workforce Engagement and Industrial Careers at Kaskaskia College. Kaskaskia serves 7 counties in Southern Illinois, including Clinton, Bond, Fayette, Marion, Washington, and a portion of Madison and Jefferson counties. KC's adult education program has, our integrated education training program is free to students enrolled in adult education. The instruction and training provided by Casey's Career Tech program instructors is at the same time the students are working towards their high school diploma. The program provides accelerated pathways to an industry recognized credential for CNAs, welding, automotive technology, and or construction. The programs represent some of Casey's largest workforce needs. And in addition to preparing students for entry into the workforce, the ICAPS program also prepares students for additional post-secondary training. In addition to the ICAPS program, Casey offers accommodations and support services to students with documented disabilities, which may include learning, physical, visual, and or emotional disabilities. To be eligible for these accommodations, students must provide documentation of the disability, which could include an IEP 504 plan from their high school or a letter from a medical professional. Next, I would like to turn it over to Lisa Schiermeyer from SWIC to tell you about the services they offer.
Hello, everyone. Could you change the slide, please? My name is Lisa Schiermeyer, and I am with Southwestern Illinois College, or as we lovingly like to refer to it, SWIC. We also have vocational programs. Again, as with all of the other community colleges, we do offer the GED program, which allows students to gain their high school diploma equivalency, and English language services. They are tested to see if they go, which kind of class they go into to best meet their needs so that they can gain their skills necessary to either obtain their GED and high school diploma or their English proficiency scales. We have vocational trainings as well, and these are paid through grant funding. So no cost to the student if they qualify. We have a CNA program where they take the CNA course and then also a support class to help them with some of the more not CNA technical skills, but workplace skills like computer use, that sort of thing. And then we are starting a community health worker program that will also be considered an ICAPS class. We do have the computer numeric coding, or CNC. And then we also have a program called Highway Construction Careers Program that is grant funded by IDOT. and they go into that program for 450 hours. It is a paid program, so they get paid while they are going through the classes. And they learn basic construction trades. So not just highway construction, but also things like framing and drywalling for homes, concrete work, welding, and then there are many employers that go to that site to seek employees from that program. And then we also have a Project Read program, which is basic adult literacy for students to learn basic reading and math skills, and it's one-on-one tutoring. Jill, I'll send that back to you.
Thank you, Lisa. As you can see in this image, I just wanted to point out all of us have images on all of our slides showing which counties that we cover, because it is kind of a large area. So as you can see, we cover Lewis and Clark Community College covers a portion of Madison County, Macoupin County, Greene, Jersey, and Calhoun counties. And we do have Illinois high school diploma classes all over in each of these counties. And we also offer virtual options as well, and evening classes. We do offer vocational training, as you can see listed on our slide. Oh, can you go to the next slide? On our slide where we partner with Madison County Employment and Training to provide the Certified Nurse Assistance training. And we are currently in the middle of implementing a state grant called Climate and Equitable Jobs Act, otherwise known as CEJA. And through that, we're able to provide training in construction, solar installation, and energy auditor. The students that attend these classes are in class from 8 to 4, Monday through Thursday, and will earn a $13 an hour stipend, along with certifications in OSHA 10, CPR first aid, and the industry recognized credential, depending on which of those areas that they choose. For those employees and students that want to improve their math or literacy skills, we also offer Project Read for adults that are over 17. And we are very passionate about providing students with career preparation and wraparound services to those students who need support beyond the classroom. Next slide, please. On this last slide, you can see that we have included all of our contact information and a QR code to check out our websites. And from here, I'd like to pass it off to Title III, Freddie and Rhonda.
All right, well, thank you very much. My name is Freddie Buckingham. I'm the Southern Region Business Service Manager for the Illinois Department of Employment and Security. Next slide, please. Next slide. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about our programs, our employer benefits, and how to get in touch with us. Next slide, please. All right, at the Department of Employment and Security, we administer the state unemployment benefits. We also provide employment services to both job seekers and employers. We connect employers with our workforce system, and we do research it for both grants and educational purpose. I'm sorry, we do provide employment and wage data for both research and grant availability, and to develop sound workforce policies. Next slide. All right, so this is a look at what our coverage area is. If you look down at the bottom, I cover all the blue. I supervise staff that conducts employer outreach for this region, as well as the veteran employment staff. Next slide, please. All right, so some of our employment security programs, we do have some special population programs, including re-entry and Hire the Future. And my partner here, Rhonda Pryor, actually deals with those programs. Rhonda, you want to say a little bit about that before we move on?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rhonda Pryor. I too work for Illinois Department of Employment Security Office. My role is Special Population Coordinator, and I do deal with the Reentry Employment Service Program, which deals with individuals that have some kind of criminal background. The Hire the Future is for youth age 16 to 24.
All right, thank you, Rhonda. All right, next slide. All right, so we also help with hiring events. We generally do this in partnership with our Title I partners. We do hiring events, both the larger job fair type, but we also do single employer hiring events, and we can do a lot of those at our American Job Centers. Next slide. We also administer IllinoisJobLink.com. Illinois Job Link is the state job board. It is free to employers. You can post jobs, search for resumes, receive email updates on new resumes, and manage your company profile all on IllinoisJobLink.com. Next slide, please. And I apologize, I'm trying to go a little bit faster because we're running closer on time. I don't want to take up some. So we got labor market information. We do have a labor market team. We have a team dedicated just to looking at our statistical, that is not a word I can say, statistical analysis. They take employment stats, unemployment stats, job forecasting, wages, and demographics informations. We collect this and disseminate it in partnership with USDOL. Next slide, please. Well, thank you. I thought I was behind time, Jenny. All right. So our veterans, Jobs for Better State Grant, this is a federal program that is administered by Illinois Department of Employment Security. The JVSG grant does have pay for 2 positions in our regions, the Veteran Career Coach and the Veteran Business Specialist. Our Veteran Career Coach works directly with veterans that who are either disabled or unemployed, and help them find employment opportunities. They work in conjunctions with the Veteran Business Specialist, who goes out and talks with businesses and to advocate for the hiring of veterans. The gentleman on your screen to the left is Moses Holman. He is actually the Veteran Career Coach for the St. Clair County area. The gentleman on the right is actually retired. He used to be the Veteran Business Specialist for the area. We are currently without that position right now. Next slide. All right, so we administer the work opportunity tax credit. This is a tax credit for employers for the hiring of certain individuals with employment barriers. There are 10 categories on there that includes veterans, TANF recipients, SNAP recipients, vocational rehabilitation referrals, and ex-felons. The workforce opportunity tax credit is a tax credit that go from $1,200 up to $9,600. How this works for long-term TANF recipients, you will get a credit of 40% of wages up to the max credit for the first year of work if they work over 400 hours. In their second year of work, you can get a credit of up to 50% of their wages up to the max credit if they work for over 400 hours. For all other groups, if the individual works 120 to 400 hours in the year, you get 25% of their wages up to the max credit. And for anyone over 400 hours, you get 40% of tax credit up to the max. I apologize. Next slide. All right, so Fidelity Bonding is another federal program that we help administer. It is a bond that you can take out, and it provides insurance to employers for the hiring of employees that might be a little dishonest. You might we recommend this for anyone that you might feel that you might be in danger of stealing, theft, forgery, larceny. Basically, this is for our population that might have some reentry, and this is a insurance policy that's free of charge for employers. All you have to do is go to our website to apply for that. And next slide, please. All right, Workshare Illinois. This is a new program we adopted in 2021. It is the federal short-term compensation program. In Illinois, we call it Workshare Illinois. It is a layoff aversion tool. Employers who participate in this program is designed so that you can reduce your hours of work for your employees in a given plan from anywhere from 20 to 60% off of hours. The employees in these plans will get a percentage of UI benefits based off that 20% or 60% reduction of hours. This is strictly an hourly based program, which is a little bit different from how our UI program runs. This program is an employer ran program, which means the employer does put in for the plans. They tailor plans to suit their needs. It can be, you can have multiple plans at any time, and they're tailored to help be flexible so that you can avoid layoffs during downtimes. The employees benefit is they get a percentage of a UI benefit that they would have gotten had they been laid off to help out with their lost wages. They get to keep their job. You are required to keep their fringe benefits as if they were still on full-time employment. And see. And for the employee and the employees do not have to go looking for jobs while they're at this plan. So a benefit on this is the employees, since they're not laid off, they're technically working. They don't have that requirement to do work searches. Next slide. All right. So if you want to learn more, you can go to our website. That QR code will connect you to our website as well. You can sign into Illinois. If you want to know a little bit more about Illinois Job Link, you can go to illinoisjoblink.com or use that QR code. Or if you want to contact me, my contact information is listed right there. All right, and I think that's my last slide, so we should be moving on to questions. Next slide.
Thank you so much for that presentation, Freddie, and of course to the folks at IDES and all of our other WIOA partners that presented here today. Again, as Freddie stated, we have hit the Q&A portion of the event for individuals that might have joined a little bit late. If you do have any questions, feel free to throw them into the chat, and we're more than happy to respond to them as quickly as possible. In the meantime, we do have a few things that we want to cover here today while we wait on any last-minute questions that might come in. First things first, if you did join the session a little bit late, we have recorded it in its entirety. So if you do need to go back and review any of the information that was covered here today that you might have missed, or you just want a quick refresh, you'll have the ability to do so. You'll just want to navigate to YouTube. In the search bar, you will enter Illinois WorkNet, and on the home page, you will see the recording for this session within 48 hours of the conclusion of this event. Additionally, we did, of course, capture all of the registration information on the back end, and we will be exporting that data from our platform. So we will be forwarding that on to the WIOA partners and our state partners here for review and follow-up as they see fit. I don't see any additional questions coming in, so I'll take a brief pause here and see if Jenny may have any final remarks or comments that she would like to add before we round out the session today.
Hey, everybody. Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, while we're waiting to see if we do have any questions, I just wanted to personally thank both the employers as well as the presenters, and Daniel and Zane in particular for their hard work with coordinating everything. We are very passionate, and I will say the Metro East, I serve on 4 different business services teams, and this is just such a well-rounded group. And I can personally attest to the fact that every single one of these partners are genuinely dedicated to help connect employers with job seekers that are going to be a good fit, and will do anything they can to try to make those connections. This is a really, really fabulous team to be working with, and I'm so privileged to be a part of it. I don't see any questions, so that was really all that I had. But you guys were fantastic. And again, I think everybody did put their contact information in the chat. So don't hesitate at all if you do have any questions, or if there's anything that we can be doing to help connect you further. So that's all that I have. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a fantastic Wednesday.
Thank
Tuesday.
you. Take care, everyone.